Yeah, my name is Salim Odeng. I am a resident of Kisumu, though I'm born and raised in Siaya.
Okay, you are following this conversation about the latest development where President Uhuru Kenyatta sort of expanded Cabinet Secretary Matiang'i's powers, and sort of as far as you're concerned, undermined the Deputy President William Ruto, who we all understand has been performing these particular duties.
There would be two sets of responses to this. One is about constitutionalism and the legality of the entire process of the executive order. The other bit would be political. Addressing it legally or constitutionally, there is absolutely nothing wrong on what the president did. Article 132(3) of the Constitution actually gives the president authority and power to restructure the government in a manner that respects the order of the Constitution. If you look at the Constitution itself, it doesn't assign the deputy president any role, any clear role. It says in Article 147(1) that the deputy president shall be a principal assistant of the president. And then in clause 2, it says that the president may assign the deputy president role. The same president may assign in a cabinet secretary role. So if the president reorganizes in his own wisdom the cabinet in a manner that Matiang'i now takes charge of the entire cabinet, there is nothing constitutionally wrong with that. However, politically speaking, I see some danger or ramification with regards to the deputy president. Because deputy president, apparently it appears that the president has been assigning him roles of moving across the country, launching the projects, and speaking on behalf of the government, coordinating the activities of the government, and coordinating the ministries. Now that role goes to Matiang'i, then he lacks that platform to engage politically based on his political ambition for 2022. That's what tends his political ambition.
Do you think that the president was doing this in good faith, or he's sort of trying to cut Ruto's horns?
I think President was clear right from the word go when they had a handshake with the People's President Raila Amolo Odinga. He was very clear that he wants to tone down on political rhetorics and then get back to work, so that he implements the agenda for which he was sworn into office. So then Ruto has never heeded that call. All through, at one point the president said that let's not launch any new projects. Let's continue the projects that we have, and then let's address the people, or the needs of the people of Kenya instead of doing this politics. Ruto has been onto it all through. So I wouldn't want to speak for the president, but in a way, I think he's addressing that. It's like you are not implementing what I've said, and therefore let me give this to Matiang'i so that I set you free. If you want to do politics, you can do politics, and then let Matiang'i coordinate and supervise.
So I'm trying to suggest that the president is sort of trying to tell Ruto that I don't really have faith with you as far as matters administrative are concerned.
It's not actually a question of faith, but it's a question of this is a principal assistant of the president, and then the president is moving across the country, uniting the country, and implementing the projects that he has as an agenda or the agenda 4, plus another thing that he said in his manifesto. And here is his assistant, principal assistant, moving across the country, setting a new agenda of 2022. Then the president, the only honorable thing that the president can do is to set him free, so that let me appoint another person, which is allowed in law to do that, so that I set you free and you move around the country doing your 22 agenda.
But do you think that is sort of a double speak on the part of the president, in the sense that he's trying to make people tone down on 2022 politics, and at the same time, as you're suggesting, he's setting Ruto free to go on with campaigning for 2022?
I mean, I have to, because as it is right now, constitutionally, president cannot fire Ruto. He can't fire Ruto. So if I can't fire you, and I've told you that, come on, we are together in this. We have to implement our agenda to the people of Kenya. That's the mandate that we have. And Ruto is not listening. At one point he said that President alisema tutaki siasa this time round, and I'm going to tone down. The next time he goes to Western or he goes to Coast, then agenda changes. So President maybe would say that this is now too much. So what do I do? Let me set you free so that you implement your agenda.
Do you see Raila's hand in this?
Definitely Raila has no hand in this. I think there's this tendency in Kenya where we have to see Raila's hand in everything. But in this one, I think Uhuru had made himself very committed in terms of implementing his own agenda. And the only commitment that they have with Raila, which I would see into it, is to ensure that there is cohesion in this country. There is togetherness in this country. And then we move forward in terms, we forge ahead in terms of the fight against corruption. So that's what I would bring Raila into. But in terms of reorganization of the cabinet, I don't see Raila's hand into that, because Raila doesn't have a mandate in the reorganization of Uhuru's cabinet. Yeah.
But of course, we all know that Raila's closeness with Uhuru has been costing a lot of judiciary in Ruto's camp. And probably this could be one of the outcomes of that relationship between Raila and Uhuru.
I think it is Ruto's preoccupation with 2022 that makes him grasp for every grasp that he gets. I think he has a fear of unknown. He just fears that if Raila is around Uhuru, then perhaps his ambition and vision for 2023 is already scattered. And I find that fear unfounded. If he would want to link it to Raila, I find it completely unfounded. 2022 is still far away. There would be a lot of political realignments in this country, as we know. So we cannot predict with certainty what will happen in 2022. So that is Ruto's own fear and uncertainty. That
keeping this to politics, don't you think that maybe the president could be using politics or not really politics, governance to settle political issues?
With who now?
With the Ruto.
Okay, I think Ruto jumped ahead before these things were settled in terms of even 2022. Because look, take it for example, it is Ruto who produced himself as a hustler, presidential candidate, and then he branded the other guys that they are dynasty. That is Raila Odinga, the Gideon Moi, and the Uhuru Kenyatta. That's the dynasty. But then he got it wrong because William Samoei Ruto has never voted outside dynasty since 1992. He voted for Moi, that was dynasty. 97, he voted for Moi, that was dynasty. 2002, when the entire country knew that Kibaki was going to win, and Kibaki was a hustler, he voted for Uhuru, who is a dynasty. 2007, there were hustlers. He voted for Raila, who is a dynasty. And then in 2013, he voted for Uhuru, who is a dynasty. 2017, he voted for Uhuru, dynasty. So he has never voted for hustlers. We've had so many hustlers. Ekuru Aukot, Mwalimu Dida, and the rest. He has never voted for them. So William Ruto has voted for dynasty. He cannot come out all of a sudden to teach us not to vote for dynasty. We will vote for dynasty because that's the pattern he has taught us.
Well, Ken, those are some of the opinions of Kisumu residents here. As you can hear from the background, this is a topic that has caused a lot of